I want to talk about the GOATs, and I don't want to stick to one sport. I want to talk about all sports. These are Stephen A. and Max's list. I'm sure yours will be a little bit different, but Kimberly, let's start with you. Who's on your top 5 GOAT list in all sports?
Okay, here we go. MJ. Like, that for me, number one. And I'm that girl who had the dunk, the John Starks poster on her wall growing up, and I still loved MJ. Just because even if you hated him, even if you hated your team having to play him, you had to respect his game, right? Next, this is not in any particular order, so don't come at me on Twitter. Next, Tom Brady. Because even as old as Tom Brady is, he still walks around like he's that 6th-round pick. This man just came off a Super Bowl win, and you know what he's thinking about? How am I going to get another one? And that's why he's the GOAT. Serena Williams. What more do I need to say? Now, here's where it gets interesting. I think Chiney will find this interesting. I have Babe Ruth. You know why? Because what other athlete has a curse named after him? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you are that good that an entire franchise and a fan base is saying, like, Red Sox fans was like, we're cursed because we paid for that man to go play for the Yankees, then you got to be all-time GOAT, right? And the last one, Wayne Gretzky. Now, I've covered some hockey in my day. It might not look like I have, but I have. And if your nickname is the Great One, you damn sure better be on the Mount Rushmore of athletes. So Wayne Gretzky, that dude, he was the man when he was 9 years old, and he grew up to become the greatest hockey player of all time. So that's my list. Well, you guys, Chiney.
All right. That's a pretty solid list. That's a pretty good list. And, you know, being great is awesome. And I'm going to switch it up for mine a little bit. I'm going to start where you started, Kimberly. Obviously, Michael Jordan, the same way I gave props to Lisa Leslie not too long ago when we talked about our GOATs in the women's game. You know, being at the intersection of the game transitioning, that's MJ, so you have to be happy for that. Again, 6 finals, and, you know, LeBron James is chasing that standard, which has made this whole conversation super fun. I am the greatest. Muhammad Ali. I mean, the only 3-time final heavyweight champion in boxing history, not just for what he did, you know, with his time as an athlete, but what he stood for and meant to our culture in a time that really needed him the most. And then, of course, I got to agree with you on Tom Brady there. So this is, you know, you guys know I'm on Shenandoah Jr., 4 Eastern on ESPN Radio. You guys join me here all the time. Marcus Spears coming through with the truth. Kimberly and Martin joining in. And so you guys know I have been all in on football this year. You know, I'm from Texas, so it's sort of in my blood. And the fact that Tom Brady at age 43 has already 7 Super Bowls, and I'm looking at the way the NFC is set up, he can make a run again next year, which is wild. He's on the list. I have Tiger Woods. And I know, and Serena Williams are sort of the same type of argument for what they sort of did transforming the sport. I mean, obviously it was a scary time not too long ago, about 2 weeks ago, dealing with the car crash, but we all were able to, you know, celebrate and rally behind what he has meant to the sport, knowing that we may not see much more, you know, in the future, but we're still rooting for him in his recovery. And the way he has been able to win from the child prodigy and then delivering, very similar in a way that we talk about LeBron James being that young kid from Akron that sort of has delivered and still is going. What Tiger Woods has done, you know, for the game of golf has just inspired so many. And then I think Serena was last on my list, right? And she did the same thing for tennis, but man, in a dominant fashion. And she sort of changed not just how we perceive, you know, athletes overall, but women, allowing them to be fierce and female and competitive. And she's still going as well, which is really fun. So rare that we get to see Tom Brady and Serena Williams still compete to this day. So we really have to appreciate that.
Yeah, I love both of y'all. Listen, we trending in the same direction. I have Ali, who I believe is the greatest of all time in any sport. So that's actually a separation for me when we have a GOAT conversation. To me, Ali is the GOAT of GOATs. All right, and then I have Serena, obviously. You guys have pointed it out, but I know, like the most impressive thing that I've seen Serena Williams do is continue to have a level of consistency in her play, even when she didn't win the championships or win the majors in what she competed in. And then let's not even get started about coming back from giving birth and balling the way she balled on the court. And then Tom Brady. And Tom Brady is simple for me. Tom Brady forces his way into this conversation. He's won 7 Super Bowls. That's the hardest thing to do than any other person on my list. I'm telling y'all, and it's not because I'm a football guy. It's so many moving parts in order for you to win that many championships and have your type of imprint on it. Next, LeBron James for me. Like, if we encompassing everything, LeBron James, obviously, we know what he is on the court. And in no particular order, because I don't feel like arguing with people over this. But LeBron James has a school right now where kids are going. There's a college in Akron where they're going to school for free. We know about his athletic feats and accomplishments, and we really don't have a great appreciation for it because he's still in the middle of writing that story. And then MJ. MJ changed the landscape of how we view athletes. He was the first guy that crossed, to me, to popularity in a generation just before mine, but old enough to understand where it was more than just basketball when you talked about Michael Jordan. It had so much more to do than 6 championships and what he had accomplished. Jordan is a thing of himself. So that's my all-time GOATs list.
Look at you, putting both of them on the same list, LeBron and Michael Jordan. You don't want the smoke?
He doesn't want the smoke. He doesn't want to hear from anybody.
What?
He already said it. Do not come at Marcus today. He is not here for it.
No,
I think all of you had really good lists.
Less.
But I think I, personally, if I have to side with one person on here, it's all love, everybody. Chiney, you got my vote.
Yes!
Best GOAT list.
Let's
Best
go.
GOAT list. That's right. That's right.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.